Yoshinaga, I'm testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's great. Because I joined my group rehearsal. For a certain time, they can not hear me. So I'm worried about the system.
Okay, Professor Liu.
Okay, good. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, what the?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Yoshinaga from Ion Environmental Foundation. Welcome to the ninth Asia Students Environmental Platform, ASEP 2021 final presentation. Firstly, please follow some rules on the screen. To participating students, one, when you are presenting, Please turn on your camera and microphone and start screen sharing. 2. When you are listening, please turn off your camera and microphone. 3. Once you finish your presentation, please send the presentation files to Secretariat by email. 4. You have 5 minutes for a presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A session. Please pay attention to timer carefully. If you exceed the time, Secretariat may cut in and move to next group. And please upload your final presentation file to Google Drive for backup if anything happens during your presentation. If you do not have the link for Drive, the link is on chat. This is to audience. 1, please turn off your camera and microphone. 2, please set your name as O and underline your name. 3, we have an outstanding award by voting from you. Please select the most excellent 3 groups you think. The poll will appear after the last group is finished. 4, after answering the poll, you may leave by clicking Leave button. The results of the award will be announced on Instagram and Facebook by Ion Environmental Foundation. 5, we will send a questionnaire later. Please answer for future improving. Thank you very much.
Recording in progress.
Okay. First thing first, please allow me to introduce today's judges. There are a total of 10 judges. The chairman of judge is Professor Andali from Universitas Indonesia. And the rest of the judges are Miss San Setikun from Royal University of Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Okay. Professor Liu Xuehua from Tsinghua University in China. Professor Muhammad Pratama STMT from Universitas Indonesia in Indonesia. And Dr. Fatia Zuki from University of Malaya in Malaysia. Professor Annalyn Kodilan from University of the Philippines in Philippines. Professor Woo Jun Park from Korea University in South Korea. Professor Tawan Pafapote from Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. Professor Boutan Som from Vietnam National University Hanoi in Vietnam. And Professor Narumi Yoshikawa from Waseda University in Japan. Okay, next. Okay, let's welcome Professor Andali to explain how to evaluate the presentation.
Thank you, Sinaga-san, and good afternoon, everybody. Let me explain some of the key points for the subject that how can we create the recycling society for your final presentation. So each group has 10 minutes, including 5 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for question and answer. You must clarify about following 4 points for your final presentation, linked with the evaluation criteria by judges from 9 countries. Those points are, first, the process of making your group ideas. And then the second one is, what is your findings from all studies and group discussion? The third is, point out the key factor to ensure the recycling of the solid waste in society. The fourth is the how to act in your daily life for an ideal future. And last but not least is clarify of the solution for the subject of presentation to design a cyclical society based on a multi-scale collaboration for resources conservation. Back to you, Yoshinaga-san.
Thank you very much, Professor Andali. And this year, Grand Prix will be selected by the judges, and outstanding prize will be selected by the audience. Outstanding prize is new for this year's program because this year we invite the audience to watch our final presentation. Today, over 100 audience came to watch our final presentation. They came from each participating country, including students from ASEP participating university, past participants of ASEP, and young people from each participating country. Welcome you all. Next. No. Then this is the order that we selected yesterday. No. First presenter is Team I. Please turn on your camera, and every judges, please turn on your camera and turn off your microphone while presenting. Other participating and audience, please turn off your camera and microphone to listen. Next team, please stand by. Facilitator of Team I, Professor Votanson, do you have any message to your team?
Hi, Group I. You are the first group to present today, so be confident to be winner, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Professor Vo. Then, Team I, please start.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are from Group I, and today we are going to propose the way to develop eco-friendly habits to Asian youth through technology. So let's get started with the problem first. So here are problems. As you can see the picture, in Asia, there is an increasing load of waste. As you can see the heap of the waste in the picture left side, and you can also see the picture that there is a person on the right side throwing the garbage into the floor. So it shows the low awareness of environmental sustainability, which lead to the low current recycling rate, and we are going to fix it.
All right. I'm just joining. The sound is
Youth is our target audience with range of 12 to 24 years. They will be our next frontline for building the recycling community. Next will be engage as a community, and they also love to play games. Next will be dissemination. Dissemination is to reach and spread the information among family, friends, and community. Next. Our gamification concept is titled by Emergency, Engage More Essence of Recycling to Gen Z. Next, I'll pass to Rico.
Okay, I will explain the concept and how the gamification is working. So through discussions about our local recycling systems, we discovered how penalties and rewards are helpful to raise recycling awareness in the community. So we incorporated the idea into our game, Emergency. This game, Emergency, is in a mission and reward structure, motivating on players to play the game and recycle. Players will receive rewards depending on how well they do on the missions. Next slide, please. Missions for level 1 to 3 will be short and easy virtual exercises. We would like to give a brief example of the missions. For level 1, it will be a recycling mission collaborating with music, separating waste properly using rhythm game. Next, please. For level 2 and 3, it will be a car game collecting waste bins with various garbage trucks from different Asian countries. Then I would like to pass the presentation to Jeff.
Okay, I will explain about level 4 and level 5. So this level will require players to do the activities in real life. Next. So we use Pokemon Go as a reference. In our game, player can look for recycling station on the app and then they can get a point or reward after dropping their sorted waste or doing the recycling activities there. Next. So if you haven't seen Pokemon Go before, this is how it's like, but we will adapt it to recycling activities. Play the video. Okay, next. So another one, we will also do partnership with eco-friendly stores or brands so that when our players buy things or using their own container, they could get points or reward in the app. I will pass the presentation to Fawn again.
Thank you so much. So for now, we are talking about the impact of emergency. So we estimate that in the next 5 years, 40% of Asian youth population will be an active users. By that, it means that they have an awareness of being environmentally friendly, and by that, they put it into real action. So in the next 5 years, we project that recycling rate bio-waste increases by 60% and recycling rate plastic increase by 50%. And how can we ensure that? As you can see the picture on the right side. So here from the papers, it shows that people who are playing the game and getting reward is very motivated for 80%. So it can ensure that our game will be effective. And just to conclude, if you follow the path of developing an eco-friendly habit through emergency, we can reach the goal of building a recycling society. Thank you so much. So that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
think oh, sorry. I think it's my turn to ask, right, Yoshinaga-san?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Yoshinaga-san, and thank you very much for Group I for a very thorough presentation. What I want to ask is, as a young generation Z that you have already, for example, developed the model for the game for the young people. So what is the challenges what is the challenges that you see among yourself to build this recycling society?
Okay, thank you for your question. The challenge of us that we need to deal with recycling society is that not many people aware of how to be environmentally friendly. So we need to encourage by starting from ourselves, those of us, in order to share it, spread it to others. And also we should put it more in education or some campaigns on the social media in order to make it more viral, to make it people being feel like they need to be environmentally friendly. Yes.
Thank you. Any other group member want to add to the answer?
I want to add maybe the challenge about the idea that we want to conduct, so which is the game itself. So we first thought about probably in some developing countries, like not every Gen Z has smartphone or internet connection. We thought that as our challenge, but based on our data that we found that at least like 70% of the population in Asian countries is already online. And also we want to highlight that even though not everyone is connected to the internet or have access to game, at least we can build this society with that population that has connection to the internet and the game, because this recycling or this how do I say, like the environmental issue is for everyone, not only the people who cannot how do I say, like people who cannot afford or who doesn't have access to the internet. So even though we only reach those people who has internet connection, it still has impact. But yeah, still this is our challenge.
Thank you for the answer. Thank you, Yoshinaga-san. I think the answer is very good. And back to you.
Thank you very much. And next presenter is Team J. Please turn on your camera. Mr. Tom, do you have any message to your team?
Yes. Hello, Team J. From my observation over the time, I firmly believe that you will be doing your best, and I wish you all the best. Good luck, Team J.
Then, Team J, please start.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished judges and guests. I'm Li Runfeng, the leader of Team J. We all know recycling has many positive attributes to society, including conservation of natural resources, a clean environment, and reduction of landfill deposits. But it has always been a challenge to create a recycling society. Our team discussed the issue from a systematic perspective, consider the main actors in the recycling system, and divide responsibilities based on government, enterprise, and individual. Now, my teammate Nizam will give a detailed presentation.
All right, thank you to my friend, Li Runfeng, for awesome introduction. So next, I will continue our group presentation. So first, we are going to look at the first, which is government initiative. So at the first one, from the government, yes, they have something to do to create a recycling society. Right, but before that, before making the initiative, we have to take note at some key factors that should be considered. So the first one is collection method, whether it is segregated or mixed materials. Second, we have to look at the geographical location, whether it is suitable or not for market and processing. So next one is size of community or institution and volume of recyclable. So right here, we have to look at the community, the size of community, and how many volume that they produce the recyclable material. So the last one is local authority facilities, charging structure and private partnership support. So this is about facility. All right. So next one is, this is what the government, the initiative that government could take. So the first one is law enforcement. You enforce a new law which people will have to do the recycling. If you don't, maybe you can, government should take compound to them. Second, of course, start with education. If you do not have education, of course, you will not know how to recycle, and also the implementation. Third one is advertisement at TV, and also social media about the importance of recycling. Third one is increase the capacity of recycling sector. So the recycling would be the best one. All right. So next one is awareness campaigns. Government can do some awareness campaign. All right. So next one is second, we will look at the enterprise role comply. So the first one is enterprise should use new technology to reduce the waste of innovation, such as innovation packages. So they just can recycle that. Second, they should create new types of containers that can be reusable back. And third one is manufacturing companies should use more recyclable stuff, so they don't have to buy the new one. Yeah, all right. So last one is retail company should be more focused on reducing food and waste. They should reduce their waste. So the key factor is reduce, and recycle. The next one is individual. How yourself, you have to contribute in recycling process. So the first one is you start from yourself, right? You have to start first, reduce your personal waste in your daily life. You recycle back your waste at home. Second, you learn and practice actively, not passively, but actively. You have to learn and practice, not only learn, but you have to practice. All right. The third one is use social media. You share your thought, your good ideas on recycling with your community. So community will know the importance of the recycling. Last one is hold campaigns to raise public awareness, so that maybe in your residence you can do. Right. So finally, the cycle that we have is the first one is you have to start from yourself first. Second, the government should take initiative. And the third one is the enterprises. Enterprises also have their own roles to create a recycling society. So that's it from us. Thank you. From a recycler to a recycling society. Thank you.
Thank you, Team J. Does any question from judges? How about Miss Sam?
So thank you, Team J, for your comprehensive presentation. I actually have a quick question, just for you to elaborate more on the idea of raising awareness. As of currently, we've been seeing a lot of initiative going on as of to, raising awareness, like there've been campaign online and everything like that. Personally, or from your team perspective, will there be, some kind of initiative or elements that could actually ensure that we're not only just raising awareness, but also making sure that people can also adopt this kind of awareness and practice it in daily life? Is there any kind of methods or, elements that your team might actually have think of? Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the answer. Right. So in my mind, what I think about the first one is of course because today we are facing COVID-19, so we can't face to face. So you can use online platform such as we have right now Zoom. You can do like a short briefing and tell them how to pick up rubbish and what to do with the rubbish and how the process of the recycling material. Yeah. But I think it's better for you if you can do face to face. It's better. Yeah, because why? Because they're going to really do that, really working on it. Online, just let them do. We would not know even they do it or not. If face to face, of course, we're going to together here to the briefing, and second, we are going to together pick up rubbish and we recycle the things. Maybe we go to the factory, recycling factory, so we know the process clearly. Yeah, that's it from me.
Okay, any other question from judges?
Among our countries, asking what challenge they have to face, also ask about the challenge of waste management in the Indonesia as well.
Yeah, can I add to my teammates' answer to the last question?
Hey, please.
Yeah, actually, I want to say to solve this problem, we can we can go from the two aspects. One is right, one is obligation. That is, we can set a model area to implement our, for example, waste segregation system. At the same time, we encourage more people to do this, but we also set the penalties for the violations of this system. This means people not only have the right to choose their lifestyles, but they also have the obligations to follow the system that government wants to implement. Yeah.
Thank you. Back to you, Yonisya Nagasan.
Thank you very much. Then judges please evaluate the team J.
Some communities will be concerned in reviewing and updating the policy when we are implementing the policy.
Next up,
Advancement and
next presenter is Team F. Please turn on your camera. And Professor Anna, do you have any message to your team?
Hello, Team F. It's been great working with you in a short time, and I know that you enjoyed the process and you learned new things about the Recycling Society. You've worked hard for this, so good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Anna. Then Team F, please start.
Hello, we are Group F of ASAP 2021. Over the past few weeks, we have discussed solid waste management in each of our countries, sharing our experiences and comparing the differences. We find that although waste is ever present, the way that we are managing it differs greatly, which impacts the environment and also our quality of life. We realize that to truly achieve a recycling society, all of the members of society should be mobilized to work together. That is why we propose the 3M approach as our solution, which is the micro, meso, and macro cooperation.
Coalition incorporates environmental values to establish recycling awareness through a sustainable lifestyle at an individual level. The Carter family in Hobart, Australia is an inspiration in promoting zero waste living. Ideally, indigenous, traditional, and minimalist lifestyles are alternatives to approach zero waste. Indigenous lifestyle is a way of living like the natives by coexisting with nature. Meanwhile, traditional living is a follow-up of our past generations' lifestyle before modernization. It brings a great sense of inheritance and cultural value. On the other hand, minimalism is a contemporary way that reduces overconsumption and allows a better practice of the 5R initiative: refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. In general, the 5R initiative is an extension of 3R and strategized further to reduce waste by recycling as a last resort.
These sustainable lifestyles that strengthen environmental consciousness will serve as springboards for individuals to engage in community recycling projects. Particularly, such projects can be facilitated through establishment of cooperatives, which can involve everyone in the community in developing and implementing appropriate waste management programs. The Sabonsa Cooperative in Japan, for example, collects waste cooking oil from homes and school kitchens in the community to make clothes detergent products. In other countries, community cooperatives also often partner with private companies to expand and improve their community's recycling capabilities.
The second solution, the method solution, it involves the role of producers, including manufacturers, retailers, and businesses. Due to their financial and technical capacity, these actors can integrate the circular economy model into their production to effectively minimize the waste and maximize the use of products. They can also form partnerships with other private companies to be part of one another's circular economy, such as a partnership between footwear producers, hotels, and restaurants to circulate the plastic waste. Essentially, the method solution is needed in reaching out to the micro solution, especially local communities and NGOs, to encourage, educate, and exercise good waste management habits. But the most important thing is that they will also implement the state-level regulations on waste management and government initiatives and plan on a wider scale. One of the most notable examples of method scale actors to be included is E.ON, whose mission is not only to initiate waste management tools, but also connect with the local communities to realize the recycling society.
The main problem with law enforcement regarding waste management is that the state cannot completely regulate producers, resulting in uncontrollable production of waste from private companies and the lack of incentives for the private sector. So in Asia, different countries have different systems to deal with solid waste. Many developing countries are focusing on landfill, and some developing countries are focusing on recycling, reusing, and reducing. So we can build a common platform where countries can share experiences and technology transfer. Therefore, governments can find if the companies produce too much waste. The more companies waste, the higher the authorities should cost them. Governments can evaluate each company based on their recycling and waste management practices and use such evaluations for incentives.
The macro solution here acts as support to the meso and micro efforts by providing economic incentives to motivate producers in becoming more green and participating in environmental-friendly acts. International organizations or financial institutions, for example, Asia Development Bank, can provide funds or loans for the improvement of SWM project.
To conclude, we believe that collective efforts from the 3M can kickstart the beginning of a recycling society. We also recommend that countries who still have an inadequate waste management system to plan a reform regarding the system itself. We hope that these solutions are insightful and can bring an impact to our community for a better life. That's all about our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Team F, sorry. Team F. Then, are there any questions from judges? How about Professor Tawan?
Okay, I have a question. In the model that you propose, 3M and 5 Rs for the micro, are there any example of the country who adopt those models and were very successful at it? That's the first question.
Do you want me to answer it now, or do you want me to get all the questions at once and then answer it?
Yeah, answer it now. I have another question after, if we have time. So.
Yeah. So I think the 3M models that we propose here means the connection between the micro scale, meso scale, and macro scale can be present in any country. It's just that it's not. I think that it's not very connected to each other. But for this model, I think one of the countries that do a very great job in this is Japan, because like from the micro scale, the children are educated since very young age from primary school, and even in the kindergarten, they are educated by the parents to treasure the nature and also how to separate trash and then put it in the correct place. And I think this is not possible if they have a mix or a mixed landfill or not a good system of waste transportation and all. So that's how it connected to the macro scale. Like they provided with the infrastructure and incentives for these people to like engage into this model. And also for the meso scale, I think the businesses in Japan, like they also act upon these incentives and regulations of the governments pretty well.
Okay, you mentioned something about incentive. What would be incentive for the micro scale, for the general public, for the people to adopt the 5 Rs that you propose?
One thing I know is about the environmental tax and then the deposit system, where they get some money or they like it will be deduced
if they don't bring their own bags and sorry, I'm nervous. If they don't bring their own shopping bags, so if they have like some kind of containers, and then they will have to return it. If not, then their money will be deducted and so on.
That sounds good.
Thank you. If I could add to my friend's answer. So the group, basically we took the good things from each country from our discussion. So Japan has a very high knowledge on recycling, but let's say Indonesia and Thailand, as you can see from the video, the producers, they use sustainable materials for their packaging, let's say, and our culture, our local culture calls us to live in an environmentally friendly way and to come together. And that is why we also propose the idea of having a cooperative. And regarding your question about what is the benefit for the general public, well, I think one of the most easiest to get benefit is that we get a cleaner and a better environment for us to live in, right? And once we feel that benefit, then it would influence more and more people to live the same way because it is convenient and healthy. So yeah, thank you for your questions. Thank you, everyone.
Very good presentation. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Team F and judges please evaluate. Next our presenter is Team H. Please turn on your camera. And Professor Tawan, do you have any message to your team?
Hi guys, I know you've been working hard until the last minutes, so take a deep breath, do your best, and good luck, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Then Team H, please start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we're going to be discussing about recycling society, young generation's perspective. We are Group H, and this is how we came up with our idea. To quote a poem, once a beautiful land, now it's dirty and dead. Worked at the hands of man, resources pulled from their beds. Flood, drought, famine, and fire, all the landfills get higher and higher. Toxins, rubbish, metal, and food. Do you think we are doing good? A poem by Sasha Julie. So, our vision of a recycling society is one where each stakeholder contributes their best to practice 5R principles to achieve a sustainable product life cycle, minimizing the burden on the environment.
Different stakeholders have their roles. For governments, in addition to impose more incentives, less fine, continuing effective awareness and education program, create holistic inclusive approach to support youth participation and involvement in environmental preservation. On the other hand, NGOs organize, build, and promote youth voluntary action platforms, physical and virtual community movements, and environmental groups. The aim is for young people to collectively speak out, advocate, lobby, and lead campaign for environmentally friendly practices and policies. Academics are also our focus. In addition to conducting influential research, conference, seminars, workshops, and student exchange programs, there is a need to reduce the gap between academia and the local community. So participate and educational activity at all levels of community, act as a mentor, and lead the community in raising awareness of 5R. The fourth stakeholders is the industry or business. We want to create a 3R startups run by young people and provide opportunity and space to listen and implement the ideas of young employees and respond to them. It's a vision and mission aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In addition to internship programs, promote corporate social responsibility and environmental activities targeting youth. So, what can be improved in increase the engagement of younger generation?
We are putting extra emphasis on youth because they live for an extended period in the deteriorating environment. They have special concerns and responsibilities regarding the issue of the environment. Now, let's look at the current state of behavior. Some people are not aware of the issue because they are not affected, or they could be affected, but they don't know the cause. Some people do know, but they don't care, or they might care, but only temporarily. Therefore, we should install zero waste mentality, produce less waste, and empower other people to create ripple effect. Then, how can we approach especially young people to get involved? We propose 3 steps to achieve that. First, we can use media to raise awareness. For example, there are Netflix shows on minimalism, Instagram pages promoting ethical consumption, and information platform for consumers. Then, we should have a community to act together. In order to include people in the movement, making people feel personal about the issue is imperative. To do so, we can have young advocates, create student organizations, or establish a local community to learn and act together. It is worth noting that every community has different situations and attributes, and we need to choose suitable measurements according to that. Finally, we must keep the momentum going by sharing the commitment on social media and get family members and friends involved. By doing so, the movement would go beyond just a single generation or segment in the society, but rather same values and actions will be shared across the groups. In conclusion, in order to achieve the recycling society, we propose that getting individuals involved from all socioeconomic statuses, especially the youth, is necessary. This could be realized not only increasing the awareness, but building a system that will facilitate individuals to take action. To wrap up this presentation, we would like to quote Scarnell, expressing the importance of engagement of youth into society. So, do you think we are doing enough? This is our turn to take action to achieve the society that we aspire to have. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Team H. Are there any questions from judges? How about Professor Yoshikawa?
Okay. Thank you very much. Hello, Team H. And so I would like to check once again about the international partnership. The waste management cannot be solved by one country, I think. And it is an international problem as well as climate change like that. And how do you create in an international partnership?
Sorry, Sensei, could you please repeat the last word?
I'm sorry. How do you create an international partnership?
Yes, thank you so much, Sensei, for this question, including extend information about climate change. And we understand that no country now can be single to develop or to solve the problem, especially environment problem or climate change problem themselves. So the partnership, international partnership, is become very important. That's why nowadays there's many conference, also summit between many group of people. As for example, this platform for young students. So to make the cooperation, we should find we should learn from the good point, the successful initiative from other country, and if the problem is similar, and also we should also complete exchange about the academic sector, also about human resources to increase, because that's all we need to solve it. And for ourselves, young generation now in our group, in the future, we will cooperate with each other to create the network to think out it.
If I could help Hui. To build an international cooperation, we first need to have a global mindset so that we could care not only about our own countries, but of other countries as well. And Like from our exchange as a group, we can learn that there needs to be different steps or different ways to approach. Like for instance, the socializing, the community-based in-person socializing that might be applicable in Indonesia might not be applicable in Japan, and the socializing through the internet in Japan might not be as applicable in Indonesia, where there's still a lot of middle to lower income class of people. So through exchange of information and experiences, we could develop different ways and solutions to tackle those problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job, Team H.
So, any other questions?
I'm William Park from Korea University.
Yes.
Hi, one of your slides is showing that the increase in incentive and the reduce in the fine for the recycling. Do you think the reducing fine is really is a work for every country? Which one? So when it comes to the fine and incentive, which one is more practically more important?
For us, I think it could be applicable in some countries, like in middle to lower income classes. We should facilitate them first, and then when they're independent enough or when they're able enough to implement it in their daily lives, then we could then enforce the fines. I think it could work in some countries, yeah.
Can I add some points?
Sure.
I think the cultural difference plays a big role in terms of if the fine is better than having incentives. Like in Japan, I think Japanese people are relatively really disciplined, so they would like to follow the rules, and I think that's why Japan has fine over the incentives. But for other countries, like maybe like less wealthier countries, I think having incentives is more desirable because having the fines would seriously affect their livelihoods. So I think that depends on the countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you again to Team H. Next, our presenter is Team E. Please turn on your camera. And Professor Zuki, please give your team some message.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. Team E. Okay, you have done so much things, all right? You have worked too hard for these 3 days. So good luck and best wishes.
Thank you, Professor Zuki. Then Team E, please start.
Okay, hello, my name is Nayang from Team E, and our project is Turn Your Trash into Cash, introducing a smartphone application as a positive reinforcement for waste management participation. So we would like to share our framework first. So throughout this event, we have learned many things about how to build a recycling society. Serving as a culmination of our understanding of the different concepts, we created this framework that maps out the different processes and levels involved in solid waste management. In general, the framework chronicles the journey of different products from production to retail to the customer, and what happens after it has been discarded, and also acts as a tool to identify at which level the interventions can be introduced in order to strengthen the recycling practices and lessen garbage as a whole. Moreover, we note that recycling and the circular economy should not be only focused on consumption, but also on production. At this level, companies can implement design changes for their products to be more eco-friendly. For example, the CEO is promoting the development of environmental friendly products and planning and designs, which eliminates further waste and reducing environmental impact. During our group work, a common problem in our countries that we identified was customer and household participation in waste management systems. In some cases, households not properly segregate and dispose of their waste properly, and in other cases, they don't participate at all. This has been addressed using several mechanisms, as in Korea, you can get a fine if you do not follow waste management protocols, but in Japan, community pressure plays a key role in ensuring compliance. In our project proposal, we wanted to address that by instituting creative incentives to ensure the participation of our individuals and households in waste management. So our name of the project and description, our aim of this project is to encourage recycling and properly utilizing discarded products and garbage that causes environmental problems. By offering customers digital currency stored in the smartphone application that can be exchanged with a voucher or a product, we can encourage individuals to participate in the waste segregation process, leading to a reduction in the amount of trash and raising awareness regarding solid waste issues. So this is our process. So the user will send the recyclable items to the recycling center. In return for the items, they will receive cash, coins, or rewards in the application. The rewards can be used to purchase food, drinks, and items, or get services such as portrait painting. So our conversion rates and participating stores applies like this. So the application will make use of an incentive system to price the items that will be dropped off by an individual. Here's the sample conversion rate. Giving one PET bottle gives a user 200 points, but if a user gives one glass bottle, that is equivalent to 800 points. If a user decides to give 1 kilogram of e-waste, then they will be given 2,000 points in exchange. The application will also partner with key establishments to encourage participation, and we will be targeting famous consumer shops like Starbucks, McDonald's, and convenience stores.
Okay, so let me introduce the application interface. So you can see in the screen, the first one is the welcome page of interface. So it's the on the activity, the transaction. So what you can earn from the you can exchange and earn. And for the second screen, it is some example of the item that you can exchange for some money. And the last one is the scan one for the item have the scan codes, etc. And yeah, I want to point out some benefits and impact of the project. So for the benefits is to cultivate the recycling behaviors. So now the mechanism motivate the people start sorting their waste at home before disposing, and it's the rewarding system increase the awareness among people in the community, and it's also the starting for integration of waste segregation, socialization into the community, and financial as well. People have motivation when they have their income, like or exchange the incentive by doing, and it's also of course improve the quality of life. And it's very convenient because now most people using the smartphone, and there's especially for the student and the young people. And also we face some challenge, and here's the financial thing. We need to have the revenues and also the people to familiarize with application, and it's on the reference. And thank you for listening. We are welcome on the Q&As.
Thank you, Team E. Does any questions from judges? How about Professor Park?
Me? Yes. Would Park? Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Hi. So when you think about the conversion rate, did you consider all other costs other than the material themselves? Because you have to incorporate the transportation cost and also the labor cost, and also you have to include some additional costs other than material. Did you consider all those costs? The conversion rate, you guys show the suggestion the conversion rate, right? So the plastic is 100, I don't know the currency, but so did you consider all other costs other than material itself? Okay. You have to collecting the material. You have to remove the unnecessary cover from your the waste, and also you have a labor cost, you have a transportation cost, you have an incineration cost. Everything you have to include. But did you consider those facts? Those are the costs.
Yes, thank you for your question. So so the problem that we point out in the challenge because we need to consider many other costs. But firstly, we propose some exchange rates, and it can be changed later after we are doing the pilot project. So we collecting the data, and we will calculate more detail after. It's not the perfect at the beginning. It's maybe changed after we collect on the data, the user, and how they welcome, ready to invoice in first. So later the accuracy is improved as time, we believe. Anyone can add up one, two.
All right, I'll also add up on this. So for this, we have set up we have not set up a clear exchange rate for this. This is more like a pre-plan for our conversion rates. So this is just an example, but then we would like to also make sure that this, as you can tell, we have taken example of PET bottle as 200 points and then glass bottles as 800 points. We could clearly mention that the more of the raw materials that you could try to recycle, the higher the cost, the higher the amount of points that you will receive, because that will contribute more to the recycling and the waste management society. So that's what we would like to answer for your question. I hope it helps. Are there any other questions from the professors or students?
Can I ask questions?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you very much. It was good idea, and so it's so provoking proposal, I think. So when this business model becomes widespread and so popular, so I think there will be a lot of competitions. So how do you think? How do you make a difference with them?
All right. So for this, our competition, definitely we have started out with this plan so our primary plan was to make sure that the more awareness is spread to a lot of more of the society, a lot more members of the society must know and ensure that this project must be going on in order to help the contribution to solid waste management. And for the competition, we would like to say the competition is not much of a big deal in this process, because as I've mentioned before, our main aim is to ensure that more people participate in this whole solid waste management system, so that the more people are encouraged to use our system, it would be even better for just the whole society and community as a general. So rather than just a pure project or a company level project, we would like to say that this is something that could actually really contribute to the society. So it would be better in either aspect.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, because time is over. I'm sorry, Prefer Anna. We have to move to the next team. Sorry. Okay. Next. Okay, let's thank you again to Team E. Next presenter is Team B. Please turn on your camera. Professor Liu, do you have any message to your team?
Sorry, Professor, you're on mute.
Please mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So group B members, I think you did a great job. I actually worked so hard for this 2 days and also last night and this morning. I just want to give my best wishes to you and I hope you can keep working hard and getting the good results from this afternoon. So try your best.
Thank you, Professor Liu. Then Team B, please start.
Sorry. So my name is Andre. I'm the moderator of Team B. Team B's presentation, and today we would like to talk about our process, how we manage the findings from our field studies, and also our proposed recycling society model, and its 5 components, which will later be presented by my friends before finally concluding our presentation for today. And so this is our process throughout the program. We took notes in a platform called Miro, and we brainstormed the findings from lectures and field studies, and we shared our own experiences before finally summarizing everything up in a solution model. And so this is the brainstorm that we did. So some points to take from this was that first we took the Indonesian context into mind, and we identified stakeholders, challenges, and key factors from the lectures and fieldwork. And so this is our model. It is defined by 2 steps. First, we define specific waste-related problems and solutions for stakeholders before finally integrating all of this into a recycling society. Next will be presentations by my friends.
The big issue is international affair, regional environmental governance. It's hard to change the sort of the garbage and the lack of the law on cross-border environmental protection of solid waste management. Therefore, we need to do something like the first, improve and clarify the environmental responsibility of the regional institution. Secondly, regional and international cooperation through exchange of technology, financing, and funding. Thirdly, share possible emission information of the passing shipping and apply satellite and GIS for the material flow analysis for regional solid waste management. And the other thing, like the government should reconsider the import of plastic waste from developed country. And the last one is reducing plastic waste import costs and treat domestic waste.
The second problem is that the Indonesian government lacks a solid, efficient waste management strategy. This is especially challenging for a country with 34 provinces made up of over 500 administrative divisions. So our proposed solution for this problem is to start small from an eco-village. Our team focused on the fact that agriculture and fishery contributes largely to the Indonesian GDP and that ubiquitous pollution is taking its toll on the local tourism industry. The Indonesian government may divide clear roles with its administrative divisions to enable active cooperation with the selected villages. Each village will have to achieve zero waste in their agricultural and fishery practices through mandatory segregation, production of compost from food waste, and upcycling.
Another problem is that private companies see waste management as a side initiative. Our solution for this is to design businesses that directly address solid waste management. First, businesses can apply a booking service model that mobilizes employees to collect waste directly from the household. This addresses the problem of waste scavengers in landfills. Second is to implement technologies to conduct waste assessments and to fill in gaps. Third is to increase enterprises that manufacture sustainable alternatives to promote market competition and reduce the price for consumers. Lastly are solutions like Chandra Asri's plastic asphalt and IPTR, but must be the last priority since it promotes companies to produce more plastic.
The integration recycling society model could start from the small scale, that is household level. We'll think about some solutions that could solve problems most households had, like make a program such as strictly scheduled and sorted garbage collecting. For example, is Jakarta Recycling Center, and make an education session for the local community regarding the waste issues. For example, is how to make your own bokashi compost boxes. But the most important thing to do in this process is the awareness from each individuals and commitment to contribute. Surely it will be a great step to build a recycling society.
Institutions such as universities can address the problem in lack of implementation on waste management, a space where we learn and practice zero waste within campus area. This is where young people can play a good role in contributing to this issue. One solution is universities can set up their own zero waste centers that manage waste effectively. We can cultivate the habit of waste segregation and also build the perception of waste as valuable resource. For example, food waste gets composted and they can sell it. Plastic waste gets upcycled and turned into products like chairs. Institutions is the key factor for recycling society since they have the means to do research and develop best waste management practices.
So Eugene, if you could conclude.
Yes. So overall, we have brainstormed out the key problems in Indonesia. The problems come from different parts of the society, and we suggested different solutions for each. Our discussions for the past 2 days in ASAP can be summarized to the fact that there should be parallel efforts in the international, government, household, private, and institutional levels in our daily lives to realize an ideal future, a recycling society. And surely this will be a viable solution for other Asian countries too. This was Team B's discussion during the ASAP, and our team had a great time together. Thank you, ASAP, for providing us with this great opportunity, and thank you all for listening. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if there's any questions.
How about Dr. Adilaga?
Yes, Yoshinaga-san, thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation. I'm really interested with the idea on involving the fishery and agriculture sector first to engage in recycling society. So my question is, usually in Indonesia and maybe in other developing countries, people in fishery and agriculture sectors have relatively low income. And while a theory said that it's difficult to make them aware with environmental issues when they still have difficulties to fulfill their primary needs. So do you have any idea on how to effectively or efficiently make those people in those sectors engage with these environmental issues?
I think that can be solved through ecotourism. I mentioned it in the slide where the government was. So our plan was to generally ask the Indonesian government to divide roles for different jurisdictions so that they can take care of their own ecotourism villages, and they could give them subsidies so that the villages would be encouraged and motivated to create a circular economy of their own. So they will have nearly zero waste within their economy. And by doing so, they can also attract tourists from different countries so that they can experience how zero waste is accomplished. Like it was in the slide, how they could use mollusks. Like there's a lot of like piles of mollusks in these fishing villages. They could utilize that to make that as a construction ingredient, or they could reuse fishing nets to upcycle them into value-added products. So we suggested that idea.
May I add something?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. I'm Group B, and I would like to add something like, I think it depends on the natural condition of each area in Indonesia or other developing country. First of all, we need to collaborate between local government and community and scientists. Some of them like young people, and we can build and create some model and fix it for suitable career, because I think it depends on many things. And the other point I want to say that before we want to raise one need or change behavior of resident, we need to give them value. I think we need to raise income for them before we think more. I think so. That's all the thing I want to say. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great.
Sorry.
Okay, great answer, Group B. Thank you. I will give back to Yoshinaga-san.
I saw Professor Park. Maybe you have some questions.
It's just a simple question. Every country has a very similar strategy and a way to recycle the material. Is there any unique strategy or unique way to recycle the material run from your discussion? Give me some specific example from some country.
I think one of the ways that we talked about that was interesting was we found this startup which is kind of like Uber or Grab, but they do services for like trash, for picking up trash. And so maybe Enrico, you could talk more about that.
Uber taxi? You said the Uber can
yeah, Uber or Grab, but it was for like garbage. So they will train like scavengers, and then the scavengers would be like, will be like the Uber and Grab for trash. And so they had like this application.
So, okay. Is it okay, Professor Park?
Yeah. Just fun question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Team B.
Thank you.
Judges pre-evaluate. And the next presenter is Team C. Dr. Adigara, do you have any messenger?
Yes, so all the guys from Group C, congrats for the work hard for the last 3 days. I really enjoy our discussion, and I wish you all the best. Good luck for the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Adigara. Then Team C, please start.
Our world will be covered with trash. Greeting to honorable guests and fellow participants and judges. We are from Team C, and we are here to present you how we can create a recycling society to address these waste problems. But first, let's look at today's content, in which we will be covering the process of generating ideas, finding the information from a different fields, the solution to the problem in our findings, and daily action that we individuals can also take, the process of how we came up with our group ideas. First, we discuss the difference and the challenge that we have been faced in solid waste management amongst our countries. Then we brainstorm the idea, collect key factors, and make solutions based on our key factors that we found. The second part is what we found from the study and discussions. Firstly, high-tech, innovative, and sustainable solid waste management method evidently in the Bali Banban, where the landfill maintain the health of the living environment and its people. The second is the importance of waste segregate at source by looking for a way to make solid waste management more cost-effective and lesser processing time. So the third is the importance of the government to persuade the local municipalities and residents by a parallel method, which showing how mutual benefits in participations of the community, circular economies, and proper waste management, and providing convincing policy to the locals. And B, capacity building is reflects and evaluates construction and facility that we already have and might be planned for the future. Third is concerned about the prominence of informal waste management and sector, which we are circulating and waste bank mechanism. The last but not least would be consistently reviewing and updating the policy. When implementing policy does not inherit with the advancements of the waste generated a few years later, it is necessary to extensively review the policy in the process of obtaining the promising results.
Now we'll be looking at the solution, in which our key factor is to emphasize on maintaining a collaborative effort amongst the stakeholder, while also showcasing the effectiveness of the governments and regulations, while also cooperating with the publics and private entities in the solution. So let us introduce you to Waste Bank and its cycle. There are 4 actors in this solution. The first one is the resident, in which they will receive information on how to segregate the waste and the consequences of waste on the society itself before segregating them to their respective residents or community. Then these waste will be transferred and collected by the waste scavenger. The waste scavenger will be continuing to further filter these waste and segregate them before transporting them to the recycle industry, which is the waste bank that is owned by the government or the Ministry of Environment in the state. And they'll be going through a set of regulations after getting these collected waste, and then they'll be going through the international and local businesses and back to the resident. So these are the set of regulations on the upon reaching the recycle venue. The first one, the waste would go to 3 paths, would be the partnership between the government and the private sector, in which they'll find way to reuse the high quality waste such as glass that they collect. And the social enterprise is selling these recyclable wastes that the industry has collected to enterprises to create like eco bricks or upcycle textile, and waste to energy, which means they can also burn clothes for clothes that they collect from to coal and also biogas. Furthermore, as you can see in the next slide, we'll be talking about the indicators to measure the effectiveness. There are 3 ways to measure this. The first one is to compare the amount of waste being dumped into the landfill each year. The second one is the cost and benefits analysis for all the stakeholders that are involved in this waste bank cycle. The third one is the manufacturers, who are the private sector, are able to save the cost of their productions because they're using these recyclable items. These are the benefits of our waste cycle. It will be aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. There are 4 of it. The resident will benefit from the tax reductions if they follow the waste segregations properly. For the waste scavenger, they'll also be able to hold a sustainable income because they have employment from the government to segregate these waste. And for the government themselves, not only they're able to increase their economic well-being in terms of this, but also can help address the solid waste management in their country with the help of the private sector. And for the private sector, on the other hand, there can be part of the circular economy of the country while also cutting costs of their productions process. These are the actions that individual ourselves can partake for an ideal future. There are 3: knowledge and awareness, being aware of this problem, while also spreading information to other people around us, how serious it is and how we can take action, which is going to the second one: implement and take action, volunteer or do projects related to it, or maybe just stop using one-time plastic and innovating old products and by upcycling them and making use of them. That's all for our presentation. If you have further information or questions, feel free to ask us and we'll be glad to answer it. Thank you.
Thank you, Team C. Does any question from judges? How about Professor Zuki?
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Group C, for your very nice presentation. So I have a few questions here. Let me start with the first one. Okay, when we look at the flow of your waste that you are proposing, right? So most of everyone knows that it must start from the personal segregations at home as a household waste. Then we found that especially in Malaysia, or maybe it's happened to in other country as well, but we found that the value or the money value that we can get from the waste or trash to cash value. So the cash is too low, right? So this sometimes discourage people to do segregation, and then they can at least turn it or exchange it to cash. So what do you think is the best way to to increase the value, and in the same time it can be encourage people to do the segregation at home. So can you answer that first?
Well, as we are thinking, like, we residents were segregated at home, and then we give to the waste scavenger, which waste scavenger will be separate into the factory, into the private sector first, and then there's the private sector and government partnership with together. So I'm thinking of like maybe government, if there we will have the record of the levels of waste segregate that we resident do. We accumulate like in each years, if each residence can accumulate this waste in the certain levels of the minimums or average, you can use this record to like be a tax reduction from the government, because like you have the government partnership with us, so maybe you have the tax incentive to give to our residents as well.
Okay, you mean that it must be some organizer or any parties or committees that organizing the collection, right? So from there they will sometimes, because it's not easy to actually to gather people and to teach people, to make them acknowledge about this and everything. So another thing, especially, okay, let's say people have done segregation and they want to know how actually or how they can measure the capacity or the weight of the waste that they have produced is less after they do the segregation. So do you know how to measure it, that they can compare after they do the segregation and before they do the segregation, how much they actually produce their solid waste at home?
All right, thank you, Dr. Fatia, for your question. This is something that we have to look into, our entire team has to look into. But from ASAP, we've understood that two things that local municipal councils can implement, which is either provide the local residents 3 different types of plastics, so that they can organize their own waste at home, just like proposed by Chandra Asya, if I'm not mistaken. They gave 3 different types of plastic, so the people themselves will be able to segregate the waste and they can quantify the amount of waste produced themselves. And this will also motivate them to segregate waste in the future. And also local councils can also provide temporary waste storage facilities, but in this case, not all will go to the same facility, meaning they can segregate their waste, just like how we have 3R, the 3 different bins, 3 different colors for our recyclable items. We can also separate it into organic waste and glass, paper, plastics, and so on. So which will also assist the scavengers to enhance their livelihoods. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. So my last question is about, recently there is, the activities of importing solid waste from other countries, right? So this found that we feel like very guilty, very sad and everything. So there's so many expressions from the people in Malaysia especially. So is this, from your opinion, why is this happen? And then, how do you think that we can actually reduce this or can eliminate this so it cannot be happen again?
Again, thank you, Dr. Fatia, for your question. I think firstly, the type of, usually it's plastic that is being illegally imported into our country, Malaysia. And I also, according to the studies, we also realized that the type of plastics that are imported here are the unsanitary ones that are not cleaned. So meaning those countries that export their waste illegally to Malaysia do not clean their waste. They do not have the system of cleaning their waste, which is why it comes here and we Malaysians, different private sectors are unable to make use of this waste. So one way to tackle this is to enhance treatment of waste, where just like in Japan, where they clean their plastic bottles before they recycle them. That is something that we can implement. The main problem is unsanitary. And second thing I would say is policies. Having stricter policies, making sure internally, locally, these companies have a set of system that ensures, like manufacturers, they make sure that their waste is recycled. They make sure they take accountability of their own waste so that other countries are not inflicted by their irresponsibility. And Malaysia by itself that is accepting all this waste, it has to be stricter. It has to put a forefront, like show that we are an environmentally aware country and we do not condone these ill treatment from other countries. So yeah, I think these are the two things that we should emphasize on. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. Group C, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Zaki, and thank you again to Team C. Okay, next. Presenter is Team A. Please turn on your camera. Miss Sun, could you please give your team any message?
Hello, everyone from Team A. I think we've been spending 1 month together working so hard for today. I hope everyone will enjoy the whole presentation despite the fact that you're out there on the stage and everything like that. So don't be nervous, be confident, and I wish everyone the best of luck.
Thank you, Miss Sun. Then Team A, please start.
Good day, everyone. This is Saya, Kimi. We are ready for a better life. Team A's final presentation in building a recycling society. I am Miggy Parto from the Philippines and the team leader, and these are my teammates from the countries participating in this year's ASEP. From the words of Ryunosuke Akutagawa, individually we are one drop, together we are an ocean. And this ocean of ideas is manifested in this progress flow, beginning with the identification of the solid waste management in each country, along with the comparison with an emphasis on Indonesia's current situation. Moving on, the challenges in the purple box have a connection with regards to government and citizens' roles in partnership through the interventions within the pink box that are considered grounds to achieve a circular economy conjoined with solid waste management, therefore achieving the concept concerning a recycling society. As with the mentioned, the specifics of the findings from the discussions and the lectures are exhibited through 3 flows. Firstly, by analyzing the general effects of waste in the environmental, social, and economic pillar. Then, it traverses toward the specific contexts and situations of each respective country as expressed through policy interventions and sectoral involvement. These reveal the challenges experienced in handling solid waste management in each country for the team to formulate fervent ideas for effective interventions. The following video depicts the general action or steps that we can take to achieve a recycling society. I think we have some technical difficulties. So before we present the video, I would now first call on my partner, Ms. Nabila, to convey the ideas of our team.
All right, thank you, Miggy. So as you all can see, Team A has listed a few components
that contribute to the recycling society in SWM sector. Now, idea 1 and 2 focus on inclusive community awareness and participation through effective support system and communication for education and empowerment. So this includes the usage of citizen science as well. Now, idea 3 and 4 speak on the development and implementation of technology, especially in waste to energy and upcycling sectors. Idea 5 to 7 emphasize on having stronger regulations in terms of the implementation and transparency, which can be achieved via ESG inclined smart partnerships in both public and private sectors. For idea 8, socio-economic gap is actually a huge challenge, especially for many waste scavengers. Now, this gap has been slowing down the sustainability of SWM and even a recycling society, because people would prefer to earn in a higher income sector compared to the waste industry. So it is recommended to first boost the socio-economic status of impoverished communities with an enabling environment before we get them deeply involved in a waste sector. The next slide basically summarizes the 4 main components of our ideas, which I mentioned. They are community awareness, technology, strong regulations, and partnerships and collaboration. Next, please. All right, now we'll go down to smart partnership and collaboration, which has been proven to be vital in the transformation journey to sustainability, in recycling society included. Now, this goes across the planning phase, implementation phase, and then lastly is the monitoring and evaluation phase. To further sustain the partnership, To further sustain the partnership, we need to consider the integration of these 3 tools of sustainability approach, which you can see in the middle of the circle over there. The first one is hardware, which is technology and facility. Second one is software, including policies and institutions. And lastly is hardware, which builds society's sense of belonging and actions through shared value, which is it's rare to see in approaches in SWM. Therefore, we would like to actually emphasize on a lot of public, community, society participation. Next slide, please. Lastly, this is actually a brief example of a stakeholder mapping in partnership for the SWM sector, or even to create a recycling society. So basically, there is a parallel coordination structure starting from stakeholder identification all the way up to the action process. We actually have another video to show you, but due to our technical error, we will share the videos to you in the Zoom chat. The first one is more on the conclusion of what we have managed to learn from ASAP. And the second one is a little creative example of household waste management in different countries in our group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team A. So does any question from judges? How about Professor Liu?
Congratulations for making a comprehensive presentation. I think your presentation actually give a lot of information with certain depths. I will have question maybe relatively simple and direct. I'm just wondering, you guys now are studying in the university campus. So concerning the recycling, the waste recycle, I would like just to ask, how are you going to practice recycling, in your university campus? So maybe every member can give the, certain words to answer that. I think this is quite, useful for all of us.
Yes, from my side, from Chulalongkorn University, as the one of the most good university that implement the green systematic rules to manage their own waste food. First, we concern about the waste food, and we try to encourage students to bring their own water bottle, and they have to minimize to use the plastic bag. This is the way how the Thailand manage, especially in my university. Thank you. Maybe others can help to add.
I would like to add more from my university, University Malaya. So we have a club called Water Warriors, and they're very actively involved not only in river conservation, but the river conservation module also include waste management, because naturally waste will also go to the river, right? So what's very unique about their approach is that they include the three components of sustainability: hardware, and software. And this is done through experiential learning. So it's not just theoretical, it's also about experiential learning where the students get to go down to the field and they get to learn. So that is part of it. Also, I do notice that they also do effective communication. So when we talk about effective communication, it's not just talking about technological terms, because not everybody are from the science community. The non-science community would need layman term. And this is what is observed not just by Water Warriors, but in University Malaya, even the lecturers themselves also, when they educate us about waste management or anything scientific, there is always an opportunity to have that layman language for everyone to understand.
Okay, for University of Indonesia, in my campus School of Environment, we're doing the implementation of rainwater harvesting to prevent runoff from accumulating and causing flooding in the campus area. And also, we're also implementing a 3R concept for the waste management, and also for the recycled paper for our thesis or our dissertation. We or my college in my campus sold it to the West Bank, which have a cooperation with University of Indonesia.
As for the University of the Philippines, besides from adhering to the 3 Rs and 5 Rs, we have also a facility specifically in UPLB where we could gather food if we don't have food to buy. We have a food garden, so students could pick anything if they were hungry. So it proves a self-sustenance. So the students could learn to save money, and instead of going out to buy products that could emit more waste, the university caters to that specific kind of intervention by providing students with self-sustaining food.
I think time now is running to the end. I just would like to, every participant should, trying to practice in your own university campus. Tsinghua has a certain, our slogan or, encouragement to the students to say, empty your plate. Yeah. So this is also a very practical way to do, to reduce the waste from the beginning. Yeah, this is very important. Whatever the technicals or the further treatment, collaborations, they cannot compare with the reducing the amount of waste from the beginning. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Liu, and thank you again to Team A. The next presenter is Team G. Professor Park, could you give some message to your team?
Yeah, hi. I know that every member in G contributed a lot to the final presentation. Especially, I'd like to thank the team leader and the modulator. They spent a lot of time for preparing the presentation file. We had two early the weekend meeting prior meeting, and we spent a lot of time. So I hope they do their best well to present their work. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Park. Then Team G, please start.
So, hello everyone. This is Team J, and let's take a look at our team members. We all have a little sprout on our head, and it is to show our love and care for the environment. Now, on to our presentation towards the recycling society. Starting with the definition of our goal, the recycling-based society is a society where the consumption of natural resources will be restrained and environmental load will be reduced as much as possible. The COVID-19 pandemic has contributed to a surging amount of solid waste, especially plastic waste. This situation had worsened in Asian countries, which are already burdened by locals and private sectors sorting and managing poorly. So the problem statement, how to ensure the recycling of the solid waste in society at multi-levels.
Our solution to ensure the recycling in society after making our group's idea is that the stakeholders should collaborate and support each other. So, who are the stakeholders? We simplify the stakeholder into the locals, which are the people who bring out a program called Zero Waste Program. Next, the powerful governments, and also private sector, which that run for profit. Last but not least, the civil society like Greenpeace and Worldwide Fund, WWF. There are two aspects. One aspect is top-down aspect, which means that the government on the top and takes action to the stakeholder below it. First of all is funding in green technology. Green technology is described the use of technology and science to produce environmentally friendly products and solutions. For example, the plastic waste, especially PET plastic, which can process into cloth fabric and make into t-shirt, sweater, and also PPE for the front liner, our fighters for COVID-19. Besides, AI sorting machine, like in the diagram, is used to segregate and classify a big bunch of waste. Policies by the state. Good connection between private sectors and government is also very important. Government should provide incentive and tax allowance for eco-based companies, and not just eco-based companies, other companies that really cater into environmental management should also provide the incentive and tax allowance for like doing waste treatment, creating clean energy, water purification, and so on. The budget, so that they have the budget to do research and development to contribute a clean environment for the people. Regulation by the state. In South Korea, there are designed garbage bags for every category of garbage which is used to segregation of the waste. There are also charged as the disposal fees according to the volume, which means that the larger amount of garbage the people wanted to dispose, the more money that person have to pay. Mandate segregation of solid waste from home, banning of single-use plastic straws and plastic bags are also a must. The second aspect is bottom-up aspect. This prioritize education and training for the locals, especially starting from early childhood until their teenage age. Daily life action by the locals can carry out by the locals and NGOs is like waste storing, reducing waste, as well as implement 5R methods, carry out zero waste program and open up more zero waste grocery store, set up more recycling center as well as e-recycling center, drive-through recycling point in neighborhood for their convenience. Last but not least, offer and promotion from the shopper to the customer who bring their own tableware or eco bags to encourage people to go green.
And to conclude, stakeholders have to work together to handle this management. Managing solid waste, especially in this pandemic, is not as simple as it seems. Each party should contribute to create a common solution that is not only effective, but also stable. Together we are stronger, together we are unbroken, together we can create a long-lasting recycling society. And here is our team. Together we create this life, and together we create the heart shape, sending the love to the world. And together we create a long-lasting recycling society. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Team G. It's fantastic. Is there any question from judges? How about Professor Vo?
Yes, thank you very much for interesting presentation. You also mentioned that this is in order to develop the recycling society. So you should mobilize many stakeholders, including the government, the business, local people, and the civil society. My question is, what do you think? Who will play a role of to coordinate and mobilize all the resources to reach the overall goal of the recycling society?
Okay, thank you for your question. I will try to answer first then. Okay, thank you very much for your question. I think like the one who has like the most resource and maybe staffing is the state. To be honest, regarding our research in the past few weeks, we found that nowadays many waste management procedure are conducted by local governance, like the small governance, which doesn't have much potential in terms of budget. So I think that by having the state as a leader and as a coordinator between the stakeholders, like as in the slide have suggest like the locals, the private sector, and civil society, we can like enhance the implementation of recycling society, both from like the top down aspect and as well as like bottom up aspect. Yes. Anyone else want to add to this question?
Any else questions?
So maybe just I have the second questions. So we mentioned this is top down and also the bottom up approaches. And so each of these approach also have advantage, disadvantage. The question is that how you can combine both approaches for this your research?
How can we? Okay. Regarding your question, I think that on the surface, it might be like the two approaches seems to be like different, completely different. But I think that as the end result we are looking for, it's the same. I think like maybe having the states as the coordinator, but like the state doesn't have the full control on like the bottom up stakeholders like the locals and NGOs, but just like providing them like maybe a budget or maybe in terms of information for them to like implement the actions for recycling society in their own ways, because like having the states like nowadays I think like the most of the policy and like a strategy of waste management is like completely like top down, which to some extent like the locals does not understand that. So having that the state only provide like the resource, and the one who implement is the locals and NGOs. I think this will help a lot. Yes.
Okay,
Anyone
thank you.
add?
No more question from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Vo. And thank you again to Team G.
Thank you.
Next presenter is Team D. Please turn on your camera. And Ms. Nakagawa, do you have any message to your team?
Okay, thank you, Yoshinaga-san. And hello, Team D.
I've been quite impressed as I saw all of you have a lot of passion and great concentration. And I saw you stay up so late last night for this presentation. I wish you will do the best and please enjoy.
Thank you, Ms. Nakagawa. Then Team D, please start. Hello, Team D. Sorry, we can not hear you.
Yeah, I think you're muted.
It's okay now. Thank you.
Hello, audiences. I'm truly honored to present in front of you today. We are Team D, and the topic of today's presentation is involvement of students and independent scavengers in building recycling society. In today's presentation, we'll talk about solid waste management problems and how we came up with solutions. Then, we'll present our recommendations, individual contributions, and a framework for designing the recycling society.
Solid waste management is a frequent problem in many nations, and we've mentioned 4 of them in our slides. Even though garbage separation systems are available, individuals still have different perceptions about waste. People also still require the right knowledge about waste classification. Furthermore, most solid waste management systems are still designed for the linear economy. Lastly, it costs a lot for the government to establish a proper waste management system.
Please look at this graph. You can see that there is no differences among Asian countries in terms of the existence of policy, strategy, and plan. The country seems to have the same situation, but in reality, it is different.
From the table here, we can conclude that most of us are facing the same problem, that is lack of waste classification, which is the main problem for many countries in solid waste management, except maybe for Korea, who has clear regulations on waste separation, and China with its okay-ish policies that vary from city to city, but mainly there is a clear regulation on waste classification.
After figuring out the problems we just told you, we shared the current situation of solid waste management and the problems to be tackled. Then, we discussed many aspects of solid waste management, such as the sustainable management process, challenges, and opportunities. We also found several factors to be considered, like law, policy, and awareness. After a full discussion, our solutions came out.
So, now how can we build a recycling society? We can do it by providing opportunities for students to have first-hand experience on solid waste management, to equip them with enough fundamental knowledge. And in order to encourage students to pay attention to the activities, we can also provide incentives such as discounts or some special gifts.
Furthermore, integrating independent scavengers in the waste collection process by offering them permanent jobs with stable incomes can also help us form the recycling society, as scavengers take an important role in the garbage segregation that they put the trash into the recycling system.
Next, we will be discussing on the individual contribution in waste management. We as a Team D made 10 challenges which are practical for school and university students to improve people's consciousness of realizing the recycling society. We have made a video for that. Here we go.
Let's come together and show Mother Earth how much she's worth. Think of future generations, but she's not just our Earth. Let's ensure the world survival. Come on, we gotta survive. And reduce, reuse, and recycle. Let's go. We can walk instead of drive to close places every day.
Finally, to conclude our presentation, we would like to emphasize that building recycling societies need the involvement of all stakeholders, especially individuals like students and scavengers. Cooperation, coordination is always needed.
This is all for our recommendations. It was an honor to discuss with wonderful students and to present in front of you. I look forward to the day when the world can overcome the pandemic and build a recycling society.
Thank you, Team D. Does any question from judges? How about Professor Anna?
Thank you, Shananda. Thank you, Group D, for your presentation. So for my question, you mentioned about giving opportunities to students to practice solid waste management. So my question is that given that we are in a pandemic situation and that universities are operating on an online or remote setup, how are you planning to implement such recommendation?
Thank you for the question. Since we're in a pandemic, I think it is difficult for students to experience directly. So instead of just going to the factories and experience, I think like what we said before, like doing challenges on social networking sites will be effective, and it will be an opportunities for students to learn about solid waste management. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other members of the group who would like to answer that?
Can I ask questions?
Yes.
Okay, so
countries. So by the way, so what would you like to do if you could collaborate with some company like Ion Group, Ion Environmental Foundation or so? So what would you like to do?
Thank you for the question. As we watched a movie about Ion environmental group, I was impressed about like planting trees in the community. So I would like to hold like these kind of campaigns that like we can cooperate with company and the communities strongly, like by doing these kind of campaigns about like segregation of garbage, or like after the pandemic, we can go to the factories and make like students or families and opportunities to study and learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yoshikawa. And thank you again to Team G. Then all teams have finished their presentation. Well done, guys. And thank you very much to judges and thank you every student. Next, the poll is showing up on the screen. Audience, please click it and select 3 of the most excellent team presentation you think. After all audience vote, please leave the room. The results of your voting will be posted on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Thank you for coming today. Then our participating students, let's take a break. Please come back at 4:55 p.m. in Japanese time and 2:55 p.m. in Indonesia time. The judges, please move to the breakout room for evaluating. Our closing ceremony will start at 5 p.m. in Japanese time and 3 p.m. in Indonesia time. Mr. Morris, please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So now let's start the closing ceremony. I'm Marisa Ferzahandi. On behalf of the Universitas Indonesia and the organizing committee, I will be your MC this afternoon. Now, and first, let's welcome Dr. Agustin Kusumayati, Master of Science, PhD, Secretary to the University of Universitas Indonesia. She will be delivering an address by the host university to close our closing ceremony. For Dr. Agustin, you may go ahead and please welcome Dr. Agustin.
Okay, thank you, Maurice. Can I be clearly my voice?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon and warm greeting from the Green Sustainable Campus of Universitas Indonesia. Honorable Dr. Masahiko Gemma, Vice President for International Affairs, Wazida University. Honorable Mr. Gabriel Andari Cristanto Piri, the Chair of UI Committee for 2021 ASEP Program, and also the Chairman of Judges, with all the committee members, honorable professors, lecturers, and students from all participating universities of this 2021 ASEP program, honorable team members of ION Environmental Foundations, all esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's praise our God Almighty for His blessing to all of us so that we can gather in this closing ceremony in healthy condition. We are very pleased to have all of you in this closing ceremony of the 9th Asian Students Environmental Platform, or ASEP 2021. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of us who have given our best efforts and contributions to this program. This year, ASEP program has finally come to an end. For the last several days, we have learned and participated by working together and delivering ideas in solving related issues on our environment. As we all know, we are facing multidimensional challenges during this COVID-19 pandemic. Universitas Indonesia is honored to be the host of this year's ASEP program with the theme Building Recycling Society, and working together with ION Environmental Foundation and Waseda University, Japan, which was conducted online for the first time in ASEP history. We are also grateful to have all participants from 9 prestigious universities from 9 Asian countries to join and make this ASEP 2021 program possible. During this program, we have learned about solid waste management and recycling society in Indonesia through various activities such as lectures, virtual field trips, video show, group works, and discussions. From this experience, we hope to implement the results of these activities for better plans and strategies in supporting a bigger purpose towards the Sustainable Development Goals in 2030. We do expect that we can overcome these challenges. In these circumstances, mutual cooperation and collaboration with every sector is very important. I believe that as academicians, we must synergize and come together hand in hand with governments, industries, and communities in solving the problems, especially in our environment where we are living and also the future generation also will live. It is also an opportunity to exercise our full potentials as higher education to play important roles in the front line of the global battle against the issue through research, innovative educations, and community services. Hopefully, the end of this program will be a new beginning of our improvements for better solutions in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we realize that this collaboration is indeed highly relevant to handle the challenges we are all facing. Lastly, we'll give thanks to ION Environmental Foundation for initiating this collaboration of ASEP program. I would also like to thank everyone involved in this program and make this program a successful one. I hope this established cooperation will provide us with a strong foundation for further joint activities as we both can learn and benefit from mutual partnership. Thank you very much. Stay safe and stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Agustin, for your heartful message. And next, let's welcome Gabriel Anderi Cristanto, PhD, as Universitas Indonesia's to give the journal comments as the chairman of the judges. Dr. Anderi will also announce the winner of both Outstanding Prize as well as the Grand Prix. And please welcome Dr. Anderi.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you for all of the participants for your hard work and relentless work. The overall work was really impressive and shown a great mastery upon your understanding. Our judgment depends on key factors such as the clarity of the ideas as well as the solution, overall result of each group works, and the effectiveness to deliver the key message. I hope you can further develop your amazing ideas and finding during this ASAP 2021 to contribute towards the sustainable development of your countries. And now, hold your breath, since I'm going to announce who's the winner of the outstanding team. The winners of outstanding team are, we have two winners actually, Team A and Team G. Team A and Team G. Congratulations to Team A and Team G for the outstanding team. And I request for both of the leader of this team to give a 2-minute speech of the acceptance. Please, the leader of the Team A and Team G. Team A first.
Go ahead, Miggy. Come, Miggy, come. Come, Miggy.
Team
Good
A,
afternoon.
please.
I'm really grateful for this award, and this wouldn't be possible without the collaboration of our team members and all our sleepless nights and all the hard work that we have devoted for our output. And we thank you for the organizers of the Asian Students and Environment Platform for this year, for recognizing our efforts to make a change for the world. Thank you.
Thank you, the team leader G, A. And now let's hear the acceptance speech from team leader G.
First of all, thank you very much for the prize. And I would like to thank you, the organizing committee, both Aeon Environmental Foundation, Universitas Indonesia, and also Wazida University for letting this outstanding platform happening today. And I would like to also thank you, my teammates. Everyone works very hard for this presentation, and also Professor Park and Mr. Lee for advising us. And so thank you very much for granting us this award, and we hope that to some extent this project and policy recommendation could be implemented in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team G. And let's move to the next winner. Let's move to the next winner. Hold your breath. Stay on your chair. Take a deep breath. Then the winner of the Grand Prix of ASAP 2021 will be the team F. Yeah, I request the leader of Team F to give a acceptance speech. But before that, I would like to thank the facilitators, Miss Son, Professor Park, and Professor Kodilan for leading this group and make a difference in the ASAP 2021. Please, the leader of Team F, you can have a time and screen for giving an acceptance speech.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Alex and I am the leader of Team F. First of all, I would like to say many thanks, especially for the judges and the audience for entrusting us with the Grand Prix prize. We would also like to thank Eon Environmental Foundation and all of the organizing committee to make ASAP 2021 happen this year, regardless of the pandemic. So I am sure that we all came here to discuss about the environment, about building a recycling society, enhancing our knowledge, and meeting new friends. So we feel that winning is such a bonus here. It's such a cherry on top to the whole experience. Personally, from this whole experience, I realized that any collaborative effort would be better in result compared to anything that I could have come up by myself. So please keep that in mind when we are working together in the future. I also hope that this program ending does not mean the end of our efforts to make the environment better and cleaner. It doesn't mean that it is the end of our friendship and our camaraderie. So yeah, I hope that we can keep in mind. And lastly, of course, I would like to thank all the people that made this Grand Prix prize possible. We have Chang, we have Dash, Harriet, Jade, Kevin, Shirley, Tivia, Khan, and of course, Miss Anna. Thank you so much, guys, for your hard work. You are such an amazing team. We work so well together, and I hope we can keep in touch even after this. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Team F. And last but not least, congratulations for all the winners. And back to Maurice.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Andari. And once again, congratulations on our greatest appreciation for everyone that has won their prize. You guys deserve it. And next, let's welcome Professor Masahiko Gemma, PhD, the Vice President for International Affairs of Wazida University. Please welcome Professor Gemma to give us a closing address.
Okay, thank you very much. As part of the organizing institutions, I'd like to thank you all the participants and those who have contributed to the successful completion of the Asian Students Environmental Platform 2021 for your participation and organization. Representing Waseda University as a host institution for the next year's event, I'd like to also welcome all to the Asian Students Environmental Platform 2022. We had to significantly modify this year's meetings after a certain break in last year because of the prolonged pandemic. We couldn't meet in person, but we have been able to hold a productive Asian Students Environmental Platform in a virtual setting this year. I'm happy to see high achievements in raising students' awareness and inducing students' provocative attitudes toward global environmental challenges we are facing. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation for the general support from the Young Environmental Foundation and this year's host university, Universitas Indonesia, for their great efforts in organizing the effective program. I'm also thankful to all the professors and staff members of individual countries for your efficient cooperation in facilitating the group works and organizing the presentations. Waseda University held an online international symposium addressing climate issues this year. It was part of the Solve Climate by 2030 educational initiative. More than 100,000 high school and college students worldwide participated in a series of seminars in 1 week in April. Waseda University showed our commitment for climate change in Waseda's declaration announced last year on carbon neutrality by 2050. Specifically, the 4 areas which Waseda University is committed to are breaking free from fossil fuels, addressing decarbonization through novel research and development, promoting carbon recycling, and raising awareness on climate change. We believe in the importance of students' participation in finding solutions to solve climate change and to achieve a carbon neutral campus by 2050. At Waseda University, the Asian Students Environmental Platform is an important vehicle for achieving our goals in environmental education. The next year marks the 10th anniversary since its inauguration of the ASEP organized by the Young Environmental Foundation in 2012. It is a great honor for us at Waseda University to host the Asian Students Environmental Platform 2022 in its memorable year, just like the one we hosted in 2012 in the first year of the global efforts. As it may have been mentioned already, the Young Environmental Foundation and Waseda University reached a new partnership agreement last September. The agreement includes a stronger cooperation for continuous development of the Asian Students Environment Platform in the future. Toward the Asian Students Environmental Platform 2022 in next year, we as a host institution, Waseda University, like fellow universities, will use our best efforts to prepare for the next year program by making use of the experiences and lessons learned from the Asian Students Environment Platform events of the past 10 years. We're looking forward to seeing you all in person in 2022. Please stay safe and healthy until then. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Thank you very much, Professor Gemma, for your such a wonderful speech. However, before we close this meeting, we would like to invite all of the winners and to take a commemorative photos with them and their teams. And first, let's get all of the team members and team leaders of Group A to have their self on cam, and let's take a picture for you guys to win. So yeah, presenter.
So only this participant, not the facilitator and the staff?
Only the participants. This is for the awards of the outstanding prize. All right, I'll be taking the picture. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Thank you, Group A. And now let's move to Group G. So another winner of the outstanding prize is Group G. And for Group G participants and team leader, you may on-cam yourself and you'll be highlighted for your pictures. Okay, is it everyone ready? All right, I'll be taking screenshots and 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, that's great. Thanks a
Sorry,
lot.
committee. Can we repeat for the group A team because one person is missing?
Oh, sure, yeah, it's fine. It's
Okay.
totally fine. Sure. Team A, please turn on your camera.
Okay, Honey, please coming, Honey. One more person.
Sure.
Oh, two. I think two. Honey from Korea.
Can Morris call her or his name?
Park Honey, right?
She's
Yeah.
not on Zoom.
She's not on Zoom?
Oh, wait.
Sorry, I think she's not on Zoom.
All right.
Yeah. No
Okay,
worries.
then.
Sorry, thank you.
No problem. Okay, and then the last but not least, the winner of the Grand Prix, please, Group F. You may turn on your camera and we will take your picture together.
Kevin and Cheng and Khan. Turn on your cameras, please. Okay. Kevin and Khan.
Turn on my camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is everyone on?
Not yet. We have
Alright.
one more. Khan. Okay. Yes.
All right, that's great. Okay, I'll be taking screenshots in 3, 2, 1, cheese. All right, that's great. Thanks a lot, Group F. Okay, thanks a lot for your pictures. And before we continue, we would also like to welcome the head of International Office of Universitas Indonesia, Dr. Baiduri Widanarko. And if you would like to say something, Dr. Baiduri, this is your time for you to give a little speech for us.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitations. I would like to thank for Aeon for giving us the opportunity to be the host for this event. And I would like also to thank all the secretariat and all those who involved in this event so this event can successfully. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baiduri, for your message to motivate us. And now let's move on to our next agenda, which is pictures with all of us. Okay, now for all participants, staff, facilitators, and everyone in the Zoom, I would humbly request for you to turn on your camera so that we will be able to take a picture together. I will wait for 15 seconds, and perhaps if you have received your gift, which is Saving the Planet t-shirts or your certificates, you may have also put it as the last commemorative photos with everyone. there is six slides on the Zoom meeting, so it would take quite a while. And I'll be still waiting for another about 5 seconds, perhaps, because slide number 5 and 6 has not turned on their camera.
After the 6 formal picture, can we make a funny picture after that, Maurice?
Sure, that would be great. That would be great. Perhaps if you want to upload to Instagram, that would be amazing as well with our funny pictures.
Let's make the formal one first.
Sure, that would be
Thank
great.
you, Maurice.
No problem. All right, it seems that the most of us has turned on our camera, so I'll be taking the pictures in a bit. All right, I'll be taking the pictures, and for the first slide, keep your smiles. It will be a lot. So 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, that's one. Second slide. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, now the third slide. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, now on to the fourth. 3, 2, 1, smile. Sorry. And then now let's move to the fifth. 3, 2, 1, smile. And the last, formal pictures, this sixth slide. Smile. All right, the formal pictures are done. And now let's take the funny pictures. So you guys can pose whatever you want to be. You guys can have your hands or whatever. This will be the funny that we can remember for a long time. Right? So I will be taking pictures in 5 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, and into the second. 3, 2, 1, smile. That's great. And now into the third. 3, 2, 1, smile. Now let's go to the fourth. Get 3, 2, 1, smile. Go to the fifth. 3, 2, 1, smile. And to the sixth. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, that concludes our commemorative photo. Thanks a lot for everybody for cooperating and taking part in our pictures. We will be sharing the picture as soon as possible. And now, thank you very much for the cooperations, everybody. Now, the 9th Asian Students Environmental Platform of 2021 or ASAP 2021 is officially closed. Of course, I would humbly congratulate once again to get involved, and may everyone have a great summer break. All of you guys have did your best, and even though this might only be for the course of 3 days, I hope all of us can still get intact and still collaborate for the future. And for that, if you want to leave, please leave the meeting by clicking the red button on the right bottom. And for ASP students, the farewell party will starting at 6 p.m. Japanese time, or this is at 4 p.m. Indonesian time. And now for Aeon TOA students, you may have your announcements regarding the farewell party now. Once again, thank you so much for everybody. I'm Marisa Proza as your MC today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you. About prizes, have been sent to the person in charge of ASAP of participating universities, and they will deliver the prizes to the winning students. Well, everyone, this is the end of ASIP 2021 in Indonesia. This year, we became to held online, and it was a very big challenge for us. At here, I want to special thanks to Professor Andrei, Dr. Astali, Amanda, Maurice, and all of who supported this program of Universitas Indonesia for your contributions. We would also like to thank all the professors and participants. Thank you very much, and see you next year in Japan.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to hold a farewell party in 30 minutes from 18 in Japanese time and 16 in Indonesian time. Please enter this Zoom room 5 minutes before this party. Also, we have some notification to the participants of this party. And firstly, please change your Zoom background into the farewell